Wasted firebreak. Eliminated bounty. Good night. Enemy enforcer kill.
Hello ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, rabbits and squirrels. That's right, it is I, Bassmanian Devil, coming at you with one more video. Now before we get started, do me a favor and hit the like button for that bloodthirsty there at the beginning. And if you're new to the channel or a returning viewer and haven't done so yet, bless that subscribe button with a little click, then ring my bell so you'll get notified when I post any new videos or go live. Now, as weekend 2 of the Black Ops 4 beta draws closer to an end, I just wanted to take this opportunity to go over a few of my final thoughts and impressions on what I've experienced so far. Servers, really no issues with the servers this weekend. I did have 2 complete disconnects from server, but you expect that once in a while. You just can't have everything precise all the time. But other thing that I did notice was that in some of the gameplay that I had recorded for videos and whatnot, upon watching them back, I did notice that I was dropping some frames. Now, I don't know if that was on my end or their end, because I'm still new to the whole recording and streaming process. But if that is something that was on their end, hopefully that will be addressed and they'll be able to fine-tune that a little bit more to keep us from dropping those frames for when we're recording. Now, if you guys remember in my very first video on the Black Ops 4 beta, I had some complaints about the movement system. To me, it felt like this boots on the ground game played exactly like advanced movement, minus the boost jump and the wall runs. So when this weekend came out, I was really excited to hear that they were nerfing the bunny hop and the slide mechanics. Now, I was happy to hear that until I started to play. Now, the slide mechanics, I think they nerfed it too much. It's like you're sliding through gravel now. You have virtually no movement while you're going into your slide. Well, I say that was at the beginning. They did do a little bit of a hot fix during the weekend and brought the slide back up a little bit, but I still think it could come up a little bit more. Now, the bunny hopping, I'm super excited that they put lead in everybody's boots to keep that bunny hopping down, but it feels like that lead they put in everybody's boots slowed everything down. Not just the bunny hopping, but the overall movement speed, your running speed, your sprinting speed. It just felt like this weekend that the game was so much slower than it was last weekend. And I don't know if that was because of something that whatever they did to nerf the bunny hopping and sliding affected the movement that way, or it could have just been the fact that I had adjusted to the movement speeds and therefore they didn't seem as fast to me. But let me know in the comments down below if you noticed that or if it was just me. Another thing I wanted to talk about really quick was some of the specialists. Actually, pretty much just one of the specialists to start with, and that one is, I believe, called Battery, the one with the grenade and the death machine. I don't know if they call it the death machine on here, but the grenade launcher. That specialist, in my opinion, should not be able to shoot you with her grenade launcher 2 feet away from you and it not affect that player whatsoever. If you stick me with a grenade and it blows up and I'm standing beside you, it should do damage to you too. That's just a little bit overpowered in my opinion. I think that there should be some kind of repercussion for exploding those grenades right next to yourself. Just my opinion on that one. I very seriously doubt anything will ever get done with something like that, because I'm pretty sure it was the same in Black Ops 3, where you could stand on somebody's head and shoot the death machine at them and it not affect you at all. But that's neither here nor there. That's just something that I found a little bit annoying over the weekend. Also, one of the score streaks. They claimed devastating score streaks for weekend 1. Everybody was underwhelmed with the score streaks, which I understand. Now, I didn't get to use a bunch of the higher tiered ones because I very, very rarely get them unless I get them out of a care package. But I went against some people that dropped the strike force on our team. The opposing players, the enemies, were able to drop a strike force. I found that the strike force is way, way, way too strong. Not so much as their gun ability or something like that. You expect them to be like laser beams when they're shooting and stuff like that. However, I put 3/4 of a clip into one of these strike force members while they were running the opposite direction, and they didn't die. Do they not take damage at all? You should be able to kill these score streaks. Now, I understand that they are score streaks and they are going to be a little bit stronger than your average player, but 3/4 of a clip is a little excessive, in my opinion. I think that the health of these strike force people need to be toned down a little bit. And speaking of toning things down, I did mention this in my original video, and I'm going to mention it again. The snipers are way too overpowered still. They said they were going to rein them in for the weekend too. I don't see how they reined them in. I didn't see much of any change at all. The ADS sight is still entirely too quick. It's almost impossible to challenge a sniper, because if they're looking at you, you can pretty much guarantee you're dead if they can hit their shot. With 150 health, if you start shooting that man or that player, before you can get their 150 health gone, they've got more than enough time to turn around, ADS, and one-shot you. That's unfair. It's an unfair advantage to the snipers. Now, to make it even worse, you have laser sights attached to these sniper rifles. For those quick scopers, it just makes it easier for them to know that they are centered. Again, unfair to the regular gun runner to have to deal with that. And something that I noticed as I was just kind of scrolling through the creative class and looking at the different things that are available and will be available when the game drops, the Koska Sniper has an operator's mod on it called Speed Center. Now, it doesn't give a description as to exactly what Speed Center does, but just by going off the name, that's just going to be another asset to quickscoping. They can draw up at what's it going to do. As soon as they aim down sight, it's going to pull their scope to center, rather than a little off to the left, a little off to the right, whatever. I mean, I don't know if that's what it's going to do, but by the name of it, that seems to me what it's going to be like. And that's, you know what, Treyarch, get off the short hairs of these quickscopers. If they're going to quickscope, make them work for it. I mean, that's just my personal opinion on the whole situation. But that's really all I have as far as the negatives go. Still, I think it's a very solid game. I've enjoyed it. I am adjusting to it because I am the slower player, but I'm not going to complain about it. I think for the next year, I'm going to really enjoy playing Call of Duty.
That one hurt our reputation.
But you know, there it is. That's what I think about the whole situation. In the comments down below, leave me your feedback. Let me know what you think about it. Is there anything else you want to see changed? How was your experience? I'm curious to know. Until the next time, I am Bassmanian Devil, and remember, you can't catch anything unless you get your bait wet.